Jeff's going to lead off. We have an agenda to pass out.
Such as it
Yeah,
is.
such as it is. Jeff has changed all his flavors, and so he'll describe them
Let's
as we
hear
go
the
along.
apology. I don't.
Huh?
Let's hear your apology.
Oh, you mean about that? You wrote me and said that you couldn't get Butterfingers.
Living in a world
because,
where you can't
you had Butterfingers and they couldn't.
We need bladders.
We need bladders.
Bladders.
I got one right here. It's good.
Bladders. If I'm on, I'll do this. You'll get him. If you want to be on, I'll go get him.
Okay.
Okay. What?
I'm going to go get it.
Okay.
So I'll turn it over to Jeff.
Okay. So, hey, you in the back, pay attention. It's time. We're on. Let's see, I have 3 people from my class here, and the rest of you are newbies. All right, what we're going to do is, the first thing I'm going to make, I don't know what it says on your sheet. Do you have a sheet that tells you what we're making? Yeah, but ignore that. We're going to make, do you know what cream ice is? You know what Italian ice is? Okay, Italian ice is water, sugar, and flavor. Cream ice, water, sugar, flavor, little bit of mix, dairy blend, cream. Okay? And it's the halfway point between Italian ices and ice cream. It's a terrific product. Now, I make plenty of cream ice at the store and in my years, but I've never made this cream ice. So we're going to make Very Berry cream ice. Very Berry. It has a nice... Is this on?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Very Berry cream ice. I guess we have to wake up after a while, right? I've been up since 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some blueberries, frozen blueberries, and we're going to put them in this marvelous little machine, and we'll add a little of this to make a slurry. You know what slurry is? We're going to make a slurry. Hey, how you doing in the back? We'll make a slurry. Well, let's see. Let's go this way. The dairy mix comes in what we call bladders. It's a bladder. They come 2 to a box. Each bladder is 10 quarts, 2.5 gallons. For a free prize, how many ounces in a gallon?
32.
I know you know, they don't know. All right, so we'll take a little bit of this so that we can mix up those blueberries nicely in the Ninja. So we'll just take my trick. All right. And I figured we'll start off the day with something a little lighter than ice cream. So we'll do cream ice, right? All right, so we'll add a little of this just to make a, what are you looking at? Just to make something nice in here, and we'll give it a little beat.
Your famous Ninja blender.
Wow, look at the color of that. Is that cool? You see that? It's really purple. Okay, we also need some sugar.
Have lots of that.
So I have brown sugar here. Now this is light brown sugar. You can use, this is the art of the ice cream. You'll use light brown, maybe use dark brown, maybe use white sugar. Domino's, how thoughtful.
Yes, well, it's the only pure cane sugar.
Ain't we got fun? All right, so we need a 1/2 pound of this, and the scale isn't plugged in.
Do we have to beat your heart to get it working too?
Oh, boy.
Okay, that works.
Okay, so we need a 1/2 pound of sugar. Which machine am I using? This one?
12 quarts.
Oh, Okay, so we only need quarter pound of sugar. How many ounces is that?
4.
4 ounces of sugar. More or less. Okay. Little sugar. Now the machines that we're using have already been sanitized. When you break down the machine, you're going to take everything out, the door off. This process only takes 8-10 minutes, but you'll do all that, and then when you put it back together, when you reassemble it for making ice cream the next day, you'll put it all together and then take a bucket with some Sterashine or Clorox, a couple of capfuls of Clorox. I shouldn't say that, right?
That's fine.
Okay. And that's what I always use. And then you'll rinse it. You'll turn it on for a few seconds, 20 seconds, and then drain it. And then that sanitizes the machine. So overnight, the smell from the sanitizer will dissipate. And now in the morning when you do this, it smells just good and clean. Now, of course, the law is ridiculous because I just desanitized the whole machine by opening it. But that's another story. Yes, go ahead, you're on.
This is the, for this one, this is a 12-quart machine. It makes 10 to 12 quarts in 8 minutes. That's the dasher that's inside. I've got a couple of pieces holding it together, but these two blocky blades are spring-loaded, and they're going to push out against the walls, and they're going to scrape the ice cream off the walls as it's making it. This is an old process that my grandfather, Emery Thompson, developed in 1917. And before that, this is what he was using. This is an old rock salt and ice machine, and this has a dasher, as we call it, inside here. You pour the ingredients in, and the blades throw out against the walls, and you turn a crank. The same thing is going on here, except we've turned it sideways, so it will discharge faster. So it's the exact same process of what we call homemade ice cream.
Is that it?
That's it for now.
Okay. I just made a faux pas. We're making cream ice out of this. I was referring to the formula that had ice cream. So we'll add a little more sugar. Cream ice, you can write this down. The formula for every cream ice in the universe is 321. 321. And then you can adapt that for your particular machine, the capacity. 321, 3 quarts of water, 2 pounds of sugar, and 1 quart of ice cream blend or mix. And it's 321, and you can make any cream ice in the world. And when you taste it, you'll appreciate how good cream ice really is. Okay, so we'll up the sugar to, the reason we're upping sugar is because we're adding so much water, and we want the product to be sweeter. In ice cream, the reason that it's less sugar is because of the mix. The mix has a certain sweetness in it. So we'll change this to 1 pound of sugar. Because I said 2 pounds, right, before? Mike, is this working?
I don't think so. I heard 1 pound.
2 pounds is, the formula I gave you, 321, is for a 24-quart machine. Not really, but I'm using a 12-quart machine here, so it's actually the same thing.
It's your ratio.
It's my ratio.
2 parts, 1 part.
You keep your hands off my ratio. So now we were always going to change things. We're going to start with this, and then we'll taste it and see where we go from there. So let's put the cream in the machine. And now we need how much water? 3 quarts of water. That'll be enough in this machine, right?
It's a small batch, but it should be okay. While Jeff's putting the water in, a lot of people ask, do they have to purify the water or do anything to it?
Yeah, they asked that in class yesterday.
Yeah,
Purify the water.
and the answer is twofold. 99% of the time, the answer is no. Because if you're up here in Brooksville and we don't see a lot of tourists, everybody grew up on this water. So they don't know that this water is a high mineral content and tastes different from what we have, say, in New York, where Italian ice is king. So since they're used to the water, no, you don't have to do anything. You go down to Miami, and most of Miami is tourists, and they've all come down from New York and New England and Boston and all. And there you might have to purify the water because most of the water in Florida is going through coral reef and has this high mineral content. So look at so the answer to the question of do I have to purify the water is who are you catering to? If it's a local market, it's a local water. If everybody is imported, if you're all down in the U.S. Virgin Islands and everybody's come down, the water is so different down there that you would want to maybe put in a Culligan water purification system.
Remember the old ad, hey, Culligan man?
Exactly. Well,
all right, here's how these machines work. They all have this little panel on it, which is called an infinite overrun control, which means that you can infinitely, theoretically, control all the speeds of your machine. We're going to make this at 234 revolutions per minute, which is the maximum. So we hit make ice cream, we hit homemade, which is 234, and we start it up. And there it goes. It's very simple. I mean, even you guys could do this.
I already know how. Why are you looking at me?
And now we'll add some light brown sugar. And understand, I never made this before. I'm following Steve's plan of try it. If they don't like it, let them go somewhere else.
Or scratch it and start over.
Right. Or adapt it, like that big shark up there.
Did you add your dairy?
What?
You
Yes.
did. Christy, is the water onto the machine?
Yes.
Great.
Is it?
I'll stand over here and check.
That's in the class. Remember I told you, as soon as you start the machine up, go look in the sink, make sure the water's flowing.
Machines are either, you have to cool the engine. They're either air-cooled or water-cooled. The small ones are air-cooled, like your home refrigerator. It's sucking in cool air and blowing out hot air. These come either air or water. We prefer water because it doesn't put hot air into the room. And you just have to remember that it's turned on. It's only using water when you turn on the refrigeration switch. Turn that off, no water use. So when someone calls up and says, how many gallons per hour does it use? The answer is, it doesn't. If you make one batch of ice cream, it's going to use 4 gallons of water. If you don't make any more ice cream that day, then it used 4 gallons for the whole day.
Now it's just a habit that I've always had. Before I turn the refrigeration on, which is this button here, I taste it. And then I can adapt it and change things. And I know, that's right.
And I tell his customers, if you taste anything crunchy in the ice cream, just ignore it. It's his spoon.
Well, not good enough.
Okay, what's it need?
Got any fruit?
No.
Okay. Oh, guess what I forgot? Come on.
The berries?
I forgot the guava. No wonder. See, my taste said needs more fruit. That's a good thing that just happened there. I'm glad that happened. Sort of. Forgot the guava.
So when you're teaching your employees this, because hopefully you won't be making the ice cream forever, you do need to get a vacation sometime. Teach trusted employees. It's a lot of fun. They're going to love making your ice cream. Put it on a 3x5 file card and keep copies of it so you can say, here, This is the way you do it. Do not deviate. Whether you agree with me or not, this is the formula we're doing. Because we want consistency
It's a paste.
from
What do you
day to day and year to year. If we go up to... That looks like interesting.
What?
That looks interesting. Is that a...
I don't even know if it's edible.
Was that a shark steak?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Tuna, raw
It looks
tuna.
like tuna.
But we'll see.
I eat guava paste, but I do it with cheese and crackers.
Huh.
Yeah, that's what I say, huh? Look, by the way, if this is no good, don't run out of here. You got 5 more things that'll be good.
Yes, at the end of the day, we have a bacon ice cream that Christy's husband came up with, and that's why we're saving it for last, because it's the best.
It's amazing. It's candied maple bacon ice cream. It's
That's how we
amazing.
keep you from running out of here in an hour.
Does anybody
get this
watch,
stuff out
or
of the
has anybody
can.
signed up for a Q&A that we do every week? Yes? So every week, Steve and I get together and we do a Q&A. So it's customers call in or send us an email with questions, and then we find and pick the most interesting ones, and then we sit and chat about them, and we ask them and answer them on camera. And then only subscribers can get that link, and you can watch those videos. Well, one of the questions was that I had got, how do you make ice cream with real bacon in it? And I didn't know, but I was going to find out. You can make just about anything, so that's what we did, and I had to go off to Penn State, so I commissioned my husband to do it, gave him a base formula, said, this is what you're going off of, just figure it out from there. And he did, and he got it the very first try, so that's what we're going to do today.
How's
Really
it
good.
now?
Ah, that's better.
Okay.
I'm curious.
That's better. Before, I tasted it and I said, uh-oh, no good. That's, by the way, this is a good thing. Remember we talked about tasting before we always, this is why. I forgot an ingredient, the ingredient, but sometimes you forget there's 5 ingredients, you forget to add the sugar. So tasting it is a clue. And this wasn't set up. I tasted it and I knew that it wasn't good. It needed something. So, you want to try it?
No.
Okay.
However, a warning. There's nothing worse than a reformed anything. I just lost 10 pounds, and so I'm not going to taste everything. Jeff just turned on the refrigeration, so now we're freezing, and the timer is starting on the machine. Just a little bit of warning. Once you have your formulas, you don't need to taste anything, and you make 15 batches of ice cream today, and you taste each one, let's say 16, did you mean to eat 16 ounces of ice cream today? And are you going to eat 16 ounces of ice cream tomorrow? You know, just keep it in mind, because it's too tempting. So I don't taste everything. Yes.
Check the water output on this. Okay, never mind.
It takes a minute or two for the machine to warm up before it uses water.
Okay, so now we're in that limbo period where the ice cream's being made and we have nothing to do.
And Jeff does card tricks.
What?
And Jeff does card tricks.
Yeah. So listen, here's a very important thing. When you're making ice cream or ices or anything with the machine, 2 things I think you should do. I think you should do it when the store is closed. I think that's very important. And the other thing, don't be occupied with something else. Don't be playing Angry Birds on your phone or doing whatever. Reading a book is okay, listening to music is okay, as long as you're there. Don't leave the room. Don't go outside and get on the phone because the reception's better. Pay attention to what you're doing. I didn't pay attention in putting the ingredients in, and it's just as easy to not pay attention and you're going to let it go too far, go too long or whatever. Is anybody making ice cream currently?
Yeah.
What does this mean?
It's not near as extensive as that. It's just soft serve with a few things thrown into it. And
Okay.
it's much like the bag you have there, the bladder. But sometimes we church it up with certain things, and then other times it, well, I guess all of them get churched up.
It's always tweaked.
Yeah.
Except for the chocolate.
Are you selling it? Mm-hmm. And the big question, of course, anybody buying it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's other stuff there, too. It's not just solely an ice cream shop.
Did you taste it?
Someone else is making ice cream? Yes.
More small, I can never pronounce it.
Musso Lilo.
I was gonna say
I know,
Mussolini.
that's one thing.
Yeah, and I've been experimenting with that, so,
You weren't far off.
yeah.
And are you having fun with that?
It is, it's fun.
That's great.
Yeah, I screwed up a couple of recipes, but like you said, don't start over. But it's
good.
fun. It's fun experimenting.
How many people are planning on going into the ice cream business? Oh, everybody here. How about Italian ices? Anybody planning to do that with it? There, okay.
Wait a minute, hold on.
Possibly.
You're already in the business, so you're not planning on...
Well, yeah, that felt like a loaded question there. Yeah, I am.
Well, let's put it this way. How many people are going to consider
Expanding.
going out of business? So everybody is into the... And let's try to see. Steve just said, Italian ices,
3.
ice cream. See, that's the trap. Oh, yeah, I want to do it all. You can't do it all.
Yeah, you can.
No, you can't.
Yeah, you can.
No, you can't. Isn't that a song? That was a song. No, you can't. Yes, I can. No, you can't.
Good morning, welcome.
Good morning.
No, you can start out with either one. It depends on what your interests are. But the machine will do. Technically, the machine will do hard ice cream of any air content. It'll do gelato, super premium, all the way down to frozen custard. It'll do sorbet, sorbetto. Those are fancy names for Italian ice, or as they call it in Philadelphia, Italian water ice. In Alabama, it's called Greek ice, because 6 Greek brothers left Brooklyn and moved down to Alabama, and they said, why should we call it Italian ice when we're Greek? So the reason, the answer is, you can call it anything you want. Hawaiian ice over in Hawaii. But these are all things the machine can do because a batch freezer is like your oven at home. For a minute, we could call your oven at home a batch oven. You put in a tray of tater tots, and when they're ready, you take the whole batch of them out. You put in a couple of steaks when they're ready, and you pull them out. A green bean casserole, put in the oven and take it out. The oven doesn't know. It has a temperature control. We have a speed control, but it doesn't know whether you're doing tater tots or a green bean casserole. It's just a big source of heat. This is just a big source of cold and agitation. We have products in there that are freezable. Water and sugar, water and strawberry flavor is not freezable. It'll make an ice cube. But if you put in sugar or allulose, which is my sugar-free product, or agave, you're going to come out with a frozen dessert. So anything that you want to make can be made on this machine. Those of you going into ice cream, if we were talking 8-10 years ago, we'd probably be talking about 20, maybe 30 flavors of ice cream. Jeff and I and Christy have decided, and by talking to a lot of customers worldwide, that we're hitting somewhere around 12 flavors. I contend that almost everybody coming into your store already has a favorite flavor and they know what they're going to buy. I know I'm going to buy mint chip, but I walk in and I see all these flavors on display, which we think is a mistake. We see all these flavors and we just go, well, maybe I'll try that, or maybe I'll try that. It seems harmless enough, but they're slowing down the line. And Americans will not wait online for anything, not for a long period of time. You've seen people doing the Thai pan, the Thai method, where you put it on a cold plate and you move it around like a Japanese restaurant, and then you put it into the cup. Watch the video and watch the timing on it. 6 minutes and 23 seconds for one portion. Multiply that times 10 customers, you're talking 63 minutes for me to get served. Same thing with the nitrogen gas ice cream. You put the dairy in, you hit it with nitrogen, which is a building insurance nightmare to have a big, huge 7-foot nitrogen tank in your building. I don't think your landlord's going to like it. Again, over 6 minutes. So 6 times 10, there's an hour wait. People come in and you talk to them later and they say, oh yeah, we went, it was great. But if you ask them the magic question, would you go back? No, I don't want to wait an hour to get an ice cream cone. So it really is critical that we move these people through the line. So I was just saying how we've cut it down to about 12 flavors to make it simpler for them to decide.
Yeah, and you also made a good point a couple seminars ago about when you go to decide how many flavors you want, it goes off of your dipping cabinet. So if you buy a dipping cabinet that says 12 flavors, 8 flavors, 6 flavors, that tells you a great idea of how many flavors you want to offer. But I'm a little different. I like to see what I'm picking. I'm the one that will stand in the line and I will say, I'm usually fast. I don't take too long, but I have to see what I'm eating. So I'm different.
Yeah, in New York, we have Bruno and Knuckles in the store, and they will escort her
Bruno
out.
and Knuckles.
To escort her out. Any questions? This is all about questions.
This is a very
Not
quiet
yet.
class.
They'll wake up
You think?
Okay, so
once they
the
get some
fir-
ice cream.
The first thing you did is putting in all the ingredients is make sure they mix first. That's why you.
You don't have to make sure they mix. They're gonna mix. It's just to taste it to see how
Right,
you
okay.
like it.
Yeah, Jeff's wrong on that one. Jeff uses the machine as a mixer.
I'm a trained chef, so as far as I'm concerned, you taste everything before you do anything.
No, I agree with that. But once you've got your formula, if we're to the point where we have the formula set, you don't need to mix it for 2 or 3 minutes, because in the freezing process, it's like boiling water. I had a physicist explain this to me, that the water seems to do absolutely nothing for the first 4 or 5 minutes of getting to a boil. And all of a sudden, boom, it's a vigorous boil. It doesn't go from just a little, maybe there's a few dribbles coming up in that water, but for the most part, it just goes from plain to boiling hard. And this goes from, not frozen to semi-frozen very quickly. So you've got about 4 or 5 minutes of agitation and refrigeration while it's in there. So everything is fully mixed. The only reason to do the tasting is if you're going to change the formula. But once you've got your formula set, and they're going to be based on our videos, one way or the other. I am not a chef. I don't have any skill like that whatsoever. But I do know that if you said to me, Steve, you must make a lemon cake today, I'm going to pick up The Joy of Cooking or some other book, and I'm going to open it, and it's going to say, I need this much water, sugar, flour, and flavor. Now, what can I play with on that to make, if I go into Steve Thompson's House of Birthday Cakes? Well, I can play with the sugar content. I've got a sweet tooth, so like Jeff, I'm going to go a little higher on the sugar. I can adjust that. I can't adjust the water. It's going to make it mushy. I can't adjust the flour. It's going to make it dry. I can certainly adjust the flavor and the types of flavors and the quality and where I get them. So I've got sugar and flavor I can play with. The same thing, say, an Italian ice or a sorbet. You have to have a certain amount of sugar and water in order for it to even become a sorbet, in order to freeze. In New York, on a bigger machine, I use, to give you an example, 7 pounds of sugar. In Philadelphia, they like their sorbets smoother and creamier. They changed the name to water ice, which sounds awful compared to Italian ice, but that's their product. And it actually has, instead of my 7 pounds of sugar, it has 8 pounds of sugar. The extra pound won't necessarily make it sweeter, but it will make it much smoother and creamier. So you do have latitude in what you do. So you can take Jeff's basic formulas and adjust them to your personal taste.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Did Italian ices, they have any connection to Italy?
Not that I know of.
No, it wasn't invented there or anything. It's an American.
It's an American thing. But I can't say where sorbet was started. I'm betting not United States.
Oh, I think it was.
I don't know. We'll have to do some research.
I think sorbet is right in between ices and ice cream.
Well, without the sherbet is between the two. Yeah.
Italian ices. I wonder where Italian ices came from.
I don't know.
Let's do some research on that. That's your homework assignment.
Did I tell you my name is actually Stefano Thompson?
Oh,
and
please.
my great-great-grandfather
Oh, please. Here we go.
from Genoa, Italy?
Yeah. Luigi.
Yes,
Ready?
sir.
I'm curious, I've heard you talk about, y'all make 12 flavors. I've heard, so where is your ice cream store?
Where is what?
Your ice cream store. It sounds like you have an ice cream store somewhere.
No, don't have an ice cream store. I have a website that's got, as of this morning, 460 how to make videos. And by the end of
Steve
today, I'll have
has
4.
about 10,000 ice cream stores.
Oh, no, we have 38,000.
There you go.
38,000. What's the latest serial number, Christy?
38,756.
That's how many machines we have out right now around the world.
I feel like Rain Man.
Okay, here you go. So this is it.
That's beautiful.
It's a nice color.
Gorgeous. And that's all natural. He didn't add any artificial colors.
Well, he did with your back turn.
With the what?
With your back turn.
Oh, really?
With the what?
Did you put an artificial color in?
Well, no. What I did was I thought halfway through I thought I need some more sugar in it, some more fruit. So Christy went around see if anybody has some fruit in the freezer or the refrigerator. Couldn't find anything. So I used about a half a cup of strawberry base. What is base?
Okay.
What is that?
That's,
Puree, like a puree.
It
So
was
I
the
used half a
iRice.
cup to that.
Okay.
And it really helped and it made it good. Why don't you taste it?
I will taste this one. I like to taste the ones I've never seen, which is most everything we make. Look at the thickness. Wow. Look at that. That's beautiful. Needs a little bit more guava.
No.
A little bit more.
Well, that's what these
I
chunks
thought more
are.
sugar.
Maybe more sugar. You're right. Sugar enhances the flavor.
Of fruit.
And if you're not using a whole lot of it, it enhances the flavor. Yeah, because there's a little graininess to it.
Yeah.
So a little sugar would do it. The sugar will enhance the flavor without necessarily making it sweeter. So that's always a good starter point. And it's also cheap to do.
But it is very refreshing.
I like that.
Yeah, it's pretty
That's
good.
the whole key is it's refreshing.
Yeah, refreshing.
And this is the cream ice.
This is
Cream
a cream
ice.
ice, which is a new fancier name for
Sherbet.
sherbet. But sherbet was always that sticky gummy stuff that always came in orange or raspberry, and it was just, it pulled, it was so sticky. You know, if you talked to us 15 years ago, we were opening up what's called a number 10 tin, a can about this big, of strawberries that couldn't be sold on any other market anywhere, with red dye 40 and high fructose sugar. And that's what we called ice cream. I couldn't sell that today to save my life. It is milk, cream, sugar, skim milk, and fresh frozen strawberries that we've thawed. And that's it. That's really good.
It's growing on you.
Yeah, I'd have more.